Excuse. Good evening and welcome everyone. We'll get started in about 2 minutes. Thank you very much for joining us. Right, I think we'll get started. Thanks everyone for joining in. My name is Remy Olawole. I'm the CEO at SolidLink Consulting Limited. Can everyone hear me well, please? Golan, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you, man. Good afternoon.
Oh, perfect.
Good evening.
So, good evening. So I just want to make
Yes, we can hear you.
hear me all right. Yeah. So my name is Remy Kolawole. I'm the CEO at SolidLink Consulting Limited. I'm also a coach and a mentor at SolidLink Consulting Limited. You're all very welcome to our webinar today. So I'd like to introduce our staff members that are here. We have Dr. Nee Kolawole. Dr. Nee is the principal consultant and the visa expert at SolidLink Consulting Limited. We also have Mr. Golan Obanigbe, we have Mr. Mike Eluke, and also Mr. Dipo Kolawole on the call today to assist you with anything you might need. So just to kind of a little bit of housekeeping, I prefer if everybody is on mute, it will make everything to go easy for all of us. And then also, if you have any questions, kindly leave the questions in the comments and we will answer the questions at the end of the presentation by Dr. Nee. So please, I'll pass it on to Dr. Nee now. If Dr. Nee is ready to start the presentation. Just have other.
Hi, everyone. Am I not on? I hope I'm not on mute. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Can I speak pidgin? Una fit hear me, I beg.
We can hear you loud and
fantastic. Yeah, I want to welcome everyone. I'm not going to repeat what Remy has said. I think we should just go straight into the webinar. While we are trying to do that, let me put up the slide. Sometimes I have to fight with.
Bola has the presentation. Bola, can you share the presentation and you just work it for Dr. Ney, please?
I think
I'm on it ready. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can see your screen. Yeah,
right,
we have it. So the presentation is gone again.
Oh, I don't know the way
Okay, so Ani, can you see Bola's screen? Bola is sharing.
Yes, I can.
Okay, yeah, and he can just drive it for you if you're not open it. Thank you. Hello?
Hello?
Please, can you still see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen, yeah. So if you go to the first slide, please. Is this the first slide? We can't see it anymore now. Perfect.
Yes,
so it's okay now.
Slide.
Yeah. So we'll just wait for Dr. Nee to get started now. Yeah, that's fine. But you can leave it on this screen for now.
Okay, everyone, welcome again, once again. And we want to say thank you for joining us today. I hope the session today will be very informative and it will give us some insight into how to practice as a doctor in Germany. And first and foremost, I would like to say, first and foremost, I would like to thank everyone. And I would like to say that in line with our aim and objective at SolidLink, we try as much as possible, as much as it lies in our power, to help individuals to study, work, and live abroad. And one of the things we try to do every time is try to look for the most cost-effective way to live abroad and to flourish abroad. Because our belief is that we don't necessarily have to go abroad and do many jobs or to go abroad and continue to hustle. Our aim at SolidLink is to help people go abroad to flourish. because that should be the aim of everyone. We are supposed to be able to maximize our potentials when we leave Nigeria and be able to grow ourselves to that point where we'll be able to say proudly that we have lived abroad and we have been able to make it abroad. So in line with this, we are holding this webinar, and this webinar basically is stemming out from our decade experience in terms of global network and global expertise in the area of migration. So this evening, we're going to be giving you accurate information, personalized services, and proven industry expertise in the area of migration. And today, specifically, we are looking at doctors that want to practice in Germany. So broadly, whether you are a professional seeking international career opportunities or a student pursuing academic success overseas, SolidLink is basically where you should go to. We are there with openness and transparency in terms of your processes. What we want to do is basically give you the best opportunity and give you the best shot to be able to travel, study, or work abroad. In this particular case, our partner is Alpha Active, and they're in Heidelberg, Germany. So basically, why we choose them is because they have a proven record since 2003 of helping students, and not just only student professionals, transit into the German labor market seamlessly to be able to work in Germany. So they have a particular program which they run for medical doctors that want to practice in Germany. And the first part is they are based in a place called Heidelberg, which is the southwest of Germany. The population is around 160,000, so it's not a big city when we compare it with our cities in Nigeria, but in the standard of Germany, it's still a very big city. And it's a very beautiful city. And for doctors especially, they have a well-known famous medical university with a huge, what we will call a teaching hospital. So it's a very good place for anyone, a doctor, to be able to practice their craft. So, well, on slide 4, that's the image of Heidelberg. And the first picture on the left is the picture of the specialist university in Heidelberg. And the other pictures are just basically random pictures of Heidelberg. So slide 5, Bolan. So particularly, we are looking at practicing in Germany as a doctor. So today we're going to be looking at the 8 steps of how you can transit from practicing in Nigeria as a medical doctor to practicing in Germany. These 8 steps are what we personally call practicing in Germany with ease. And the first one is basically the German course. I think everyone that knows Germany knows how meticulous Germany is. So for you to be able to practice in Germany as a doctor, the first thing you have to master is the art of German language. You have to be able to converse in Germany. So the first point of call is basically doing a course in German language. And then after doing the course, you have to be able to do what? You have to be able to get an A1 or B2. I hope everyone will understand what it means to score A1 or B2 because we use WAEC in Nigeria. And in our WAEC, you have A1, I think they use A1, B2, B3 in Nigeria. Am I right?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. For you to be able to practice in Germany, you have to either have A1 in German or B2 in German. That's the least they want. That means you will be able to converse. Because the reason why they want you to have this is because you are not going to be treating English patients. You are going to be dealing with German patients, and so many of them will not speak English. So they want you to be able to converse very well with them and to be able to interact with them. So the main thing for you to practice in Germany is to master this course. So Then from there, you may move to doing the exam. After you've been able to study, you move to the exam, you do the exam, which we call the B2 exam. And then when you've been able to master that, you move to stage 3, which is preparation for the FSP. And then when you have been able to do that, or while you are doing that, part of the preparation for the FSP is internship. I am not going to go through it here. We'll take it one step at a time in the next slide. But in the meantime, the services that we provide with our partners is basically support with visa and entry to Germany after your arrival. You know, we basically get you through the application to the school, get you the offer, support you through the visa, because you and us will have to work together for the purpose of the visa, get you the visa, and all the other services render in terms of work permit in Germany through our partner, in terms of opening bank accounts in Germany, insurance, SIM card, and every other thing. So, steps to receive approbation. Approbation in Germany is just basically what they call licensure. It's the full licensure to practice in Germany. So like I mentioned earlier, the German course A1, A2 is you learn the German language, and this takes 33 weeks. In some cases, for people that have, in my language, they say TAD. For people that have the ability to quickly master languages, it might not take them 33 weeks. But the max it will take you from experience and from practice over the years is 3 weeks to master the language. And the course is you have 20 course sessions per week, and then you have 45 minutes each for each session. So that is 45 minutes times 20 per week. And during this time, as a doctor, you are allowed to work, but unfortunately, you will not be allowed to work as a doctor. You will just be able to get any manual job that is available while you're doing this. Because at that point in time, they have not been able to certify your English language proficiency, and they cannot allow you to work as a doctor. But at that point, you can work 20 hours like every other student. And the minimum wage in Germany is around 12 euros an hour. So you will be able to sustain yourself, definitely. So the next step is the B2 exam, where you go and get the exam. So basically, because you've learned the German language, they get you through the preparation for the exam. They just basically run you through mock tests so that they will be able to prepare you well for the exam, and they will be able to set you up for success during the exam. So fortunately, again, because the school is a language center, it will be their center that you're going to write the exam. So invariably, they're going to give you all the support that you need in terms of the exam. So the stage 3 of this is the preparation for the FSP. This is what the FSP is. I have to pronounce it the way I think it's Fachsprachung. That's what they said I should pronounce it anyway. So it's Fachsprachung. So this basically is the specialist language exam. And so the stage 3 is to prepare you again after you've done the first stage, which is basically going through the lectures for the exam. The second stage, which is basically writing the exam and passing the German exam. When you've been able to pass the German exams, then the next 10 weeks, they prepare you for the specialist language exam. This specialist language exam is basically testing your language, testing your professional language in the area of medicine. So they expect now that you speak German. In the next 10 weeks, they're going to prepare you in terms of how to converse medically in Germany. And I know doctors have their medical jargons everywhere in the world. So during this 10 weeks is when they are going to introduce you to the medical jargons in Germany, the medical practice language in Germany, and how to present or how to write prescriptions and how to deal with patients and how to converse with patients and how to communicate their diseases and illnesses and the solutions to it, their diagnostics or diagnosis, and then their treatments. You will be able to tell them this in Germany. So that is the third step. So the fourth step is While it's still part of the third step, but it's a step further. It's 1 week where they organize an internship for you in a German hospital to be able to observe and how doctors deal with patients in Germany. So when you are able to successfully do this, you move to the fifth step, which is writing the specialist exam itself. So this specialist language exam itself is where where your medical knowledge in terms of communication is tested. I hope that makes sense if I'm able to present that very well. So during this 60 minutes oral exam, what they do is they listen to you, how you communicate with other doctors, patients, and writing doctors' letters. So basically, that is what they're going to test in 60 minutes. So the step 5 is an oral exam that takes only 60 minutes. So the step 6 is when you pass that specialist language exam, you are given a provisional working license as a doctor. It's a provisional license, and I want to carefully choose my word here. When I say provisional, it means you cannot practice without supervision. So you'll be able to work, but you are minimized to 40 hours per week, and then you can start making money anyway, but you will be working under supervision with doctors that have full licensure. Okay? So when you get to stage 6, after you have passed the language specialist exam, you get into stage 6. The stage 6 is you have the provisional exam, the provisional license in Germany. Now you can find work in the hospital where you'll be able to do what in my own lame term language, I call it observership. In that way, they will not let you attend to patients directly, but you can sit down with doctors while they're dealing with their patients, when they're doing their surgeries and all those things. But they allow you to do 40 hours of that per week, and then they pay you for that, which is more than the minimum wage. Then, when you've been able to do that, the next stage is the stage 7, where you apply to write the test for medical knowledge. So the medical knowledge test basically consists of clinical questions where common clinical situations in medicine and surgeries are basically presented to you. They will ask you, they will put scenarios, they will present to you scenarios, medical scenarios or medical condition scenarios or medical situation scenarios, and they expect you to answer by explaining to you how you're going to deal with that based on your previous experience from Nigeria and what you've learned within the German medical space. So then there's the practical aspect of that test, which basically tests your clinical experience and your clinical skills, like e.g., blood collections and every other thing. When you pass that, what happens then is you get approbation. Approbation is becoming a fully licensed doctor in Germany. So you receive your license, and when you receive your license, the next thing is you get a job as a doctor. At the same time, you start your medical residency, which is a pathway to a specialty. So in summary, you have the duration of the whole program is around 1 to 2 years, depending on how well you are able to master the German language and how fast you can go in terms of passing those exams. And then, eventually you get your license. So I thought it is very important for me to bring this out. When you become a fully licensed doctor in Germany, and you start practicing at the same time you are in residency training to become a specialist, your salary is going to be 59,300 per year. That's around 4,500 euros per month. And after 5 years, because medical residency in Germany takes about minimum of about 5 years anyway, when you become a specialist, that's what you get what they call a chief resident, or you become a chief resident, and your salary goes up to up to, depending on the experience anyway, but you can earn up to 256,000 euro a year. Now, this is not something that you get in 1 year, because you start from that 59,000 and then you keep moving on every year until you get your until you get your specialist qualification. When you get your specialist qualification, you start as a fresh specialist. At that point, you're not going to be making the 256,000, but you will be making exponentially more than you make when you are a medical resident doctor. But at the end of the day, you can grow in 10 years to be a chief resident and up to 256,000 a year in Germany. So our services for you, before your arrival, we help you with the application to Alpha Active. That is our partner that runs this program in Germany. We assist you with your German visa. We'll prepare your document for your safe arrival in Germany. If you require, we organize the pickup service for you at the airport. And then we look at, after your arrival in Germany, we, in conjunction with our partner, we help you with the registration at the municipal office, because everyone that arrives in Germany must basically, well, I'm on slide 11. So everyone that arrives in Germany must register with the municipal office, and that is where they will give you your permit to be able to stay in Germany for the duration of what for the program you are doing. And then we can help with insurance if you require it. We will help with your bank account, obtain a German SIM card for you if you want German tutoring once a week, if you want to be more fluent in German, which I will encourage. Preparation for the TELC B2 exam, help with your CV, motivation letter to get internship and eventually to get jobs, preparation classes for job interviews, internship in the hospital or doctor's office, help finding a job at partner agencies as soon as you become qualified. Slide 13. So this is the way it looks on the campus in Germany. And to be honest, it's a very lovely place. Another service that we offer is accommodation. So there are two different kinds of accommodations that our partners will basically present to you if you're interested. The first one is student resident, which is basically off campus, and the other one is apartment, which is you have a single apartment or shared apartment. In the student residence, you have single rooms and you have shared rooms where you can share rooms with maybe 2 or 3 people, or you have a single apartment where what you have to do is just basically take an apartment for yourself. So the starting dates and prices, because we are always very transparent and we don't have anything to hide. It's usually February, May, September. For 2025, February and May is gone, so we're looking at September. Then the next one after September is going to be February 2026, May 2026, and September 2026. The price for the whole program is 12,430. Accommodation and examination fees are not included. And I wrote block account there because I want you to understand that after paying this 12,430, German government still expect you to have a block account. What they call block account in Germany is basically putting 12,436 euro in an account in Germany. And when you arrive in Germany, the German government will split it into 12 monthly installments and will be paying you every month for your living expenses. That way, your burden of studying in Germany is going to be on them, or your body of living in Germany is not going to be on them until you start working. So I just basically want to play this video. That is slide 16. Well on.
Languages are paths to the future. Can you picture yourself spending part of your future in Germany? The land of endless possibilities, cultural diversity is the right choice for anybody who wants to study or live here, or anyone who just enjoys the German language. To prepare you for your new life at the Alpha Active Language School in Heidelberg, we offer you comprehensive language courses in German and other languages. This includes, for instance, German for students, doctors, and caregivers, and minors who wish to attend a German gymnasium. Even if you have already completed your professional training or a course of studies and now wish to work in Germany, we have the right courses for you. Since 2003, we have pursued the goal of guiding you through the fascinating world of languages in order to make your life in Germany easier.
Hallo, ich bin Hassan und ich komme aus Israel. Ich bin hier in Deutschland seit 3 Monaten. Ich lerne Deutsch im Alpha-Aktiv Sprachschule. Bin ich nach Deutschland angekommen. Ich verstehe nichts und jetzt ich spreche ein bisschen gut Deutsch.
Thanks to our professional team and efficient learning methods, you are in very safe hands with us. In particular, our students appreciate the personal, informal atmosphere, comprehensive support that we provide.
Ich heiße Luke, ich komme aus den USA. Ich habe in Heidelberg seit 4 Monaten gelebt.
Also Anna und ich komme aus
Guess what?
jetzt seit
Nah,
3 Wochen.
nah, you know, go to say,
Wir sind in
you say
Munich bei Alpha Active.
10,500. I say, where? She say, Alpha GRA. I sent her the money yesterday, 10,500. When I see the small eye drop, just because it's, you know, you understand? It's an antihistamine, small thing. So we did not buy it. So I'm telling you that we are all in the same boat.
Or applying to university or preparatory colleges. Our office team enjoys meeting each new student and will make you feel as if you have found a second home.
Explain now. Let me hear you.
A modern building and large air-conditioned classrooms create an
Oh my God, my apologies.
Because in our oath of office, no, let me tell you, our oath in our oath, your colleague is your brother. So you,
That's what I'm saying.
even if you call me, tell me, say, so.
Apologies, I'm not sure where the conversation is coming from, so I muted everyone, and I'll just try and unmute Dr. Neye again. Hopefully, you'll be the only one that is not unmuted.
Unsere Sprache üben, auch verschiedene Zertifikaten hier sehen in Heidelberg, so schöne Stadt. Mir gefällt hier. Vielleicht in Zukunft werde ich hier studieren.
In summer, we offer young people in particular the opportunity to learn about German culture in courses and homestays. You can even take the test off at the school, since we are one of the largest.
Hi, my name is Beata Boki. I'm the school director from Alpha Active. Languages are ways into the future. We would be happy to welcome you in our institute.
So how to apply? You submit an application which we are going to help you if you're interested, provide essential credentials, and I am just going to quickly run through the basic credentials. Your international passport is the first one, your certificate as a medical doctor, and then your transcript, which basically lists all the subjects that you have done before. And then there is a requirement for a document from the Nigerian Medical Council, which basically shows that you've been registered with them for a minimum of 2 years, you know, which is basically the working license from Nigeria. And then you have to get the police clearance, which shows that you don't have any criminal record in Nigeria, you know. And a very good CV, which basically lists everything that you've done. And your birth certificate is very important. They want to see it. And then the certificate that you're going to be getting from, the certificate from the university that you went to. I think that is basically the certificate and the transcript that you're going to get from the school. So those are the things that you require to make the journey. And so our role is to make your journey to Germany become a reality. So like I said at the end of the, at the beginning, your block account is very important. So you can submit your application to us, provide essential credentials, and we'll help you get the admission, support you with your visa, and help you with the block account. And from there, if you're interested, you can contact us. These are our contact information. It's basically SolidLink Consulting, www.solidlinkco.com. If you want to give us a shout or you want to send us a text message on WhatsApp, that's the WhatsApp number there, +353. Oh, it's supposed to be 89, not 59, please. 89, 353-85129595. And the email address is remi.kolawole@solidlink.co.com. Thank you. And now it's time to answer your questions if you have any.
So thank you very much, Dr. Nee. I have some questions in the chat, so I'm just going to go through those ones. And if anyone has questions, they can also put it in the chat. And if we have time, we might take questions from people, just to unmute people and let them ask their question directly. So there's a question here. House officers are not qualified to apply. I think that's the question.
I didn't get that.
So the question just says, so house officers are not qualified to apply?
Well, I assume most officers in Nigeria are basically people that have just completed their medical practice, if I am right. So they have just completed their medical practice. They don't yet have 2 years of medical practice, fully licensed medical practice. And I stand to be corrected. Can anyone, because I'm not a medical doctor, can anyone correct me if I am wrong, please?
Hello, sir. Yes, so house officers, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, so after medical school, after you finish medical school and you graduate, the next thing we go for is the internship. So that internship is what's also referred to your housemanship, or you're a house officer or a medical intern. So that's 1 year. Then after that year, you will now go for youth service. So the year after graduation, we go for housemanship. And what we have that period is our temporary license. It is after that we now get the permanent license. I just wanted to mention. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that. To be honest, that means for anyone that is basically in that is basically a house officer, they are not yet qualified, but they can work towards it. They can work towards this after the qualification and they become fully licensed, and they can now come back to us and we can assist them. But for now, they are not qualified. Please.
So there's a question around blocked accounts. Somebody wants to know if they will pay for our services as well as pay for the blocked account. And then somebody else said they don't understand the block account. So I think it'll be beneficial if you just explain the block account so that people can understand that.
Okay. The block account is a requirement by the German government for anyone coming into Germany that doesn't have a full-time work. So you're coming in as a student majorly because this particular program is going to bring you in as a student of German language to transit into the labor market. So while you are coming in, the German government expects you to have enough money. Now, there's something that is very common in Nigeria that people talk about all the time, POF, proof of fund. In the German context, they don't call it proof of fund, they call it block account, because if you're going to Canada, the Canadian government expects you to have certain amount of money in your account to prove that you have enough money to spend in Canada. But in the case of Germany, you are not going to leave that money in your account in Nigeria. German government actually have certified banks that they use, that you open up an account there, you set up your account with those banks, and you put the 12,436 euro in that account. So that means that money goes to Germany before you arrive in Germany. And then when you arrive in Germany, the German government, you will notify the German government through your registration at the local municipal that you have arrived. You are now in the country. Now they will give you all the papers to sign, and part of that paper is the paper to start releasing your block account to you every month. They divide it into 12 monthly installments, and they give it to you every month. In that case, nobody comes to Germany and say, oh, I don't have money to feed, because you already collected the money that you are going to use to feed yourself, clothe yourself, and house yourself upfront. Usually what we are used to in Nigeria is to have that proof of fund in our account in Nigeria. But in the case of Germany, no, you are not going to leave that money in your proof of in your account in Nigeria. You're going to post it over to Germany. So that is what is called block account. I hope I've made it clear.
Okay. Thank you. So there's a question. Somebody wants to know, does the 12,430 covers the COA for the Alpha Akif School, except the accommodation?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So the 12,430 basically covers everything that Alpha Active is going to. The only thing that is additional is the money you're going to pay for the exams, because Alpha Active does not own the exam. It's just like me coming to Nigeria, having trained as a medical doctor in Ghana, and I want to start practicing in Nigeria. To practice in Nigeria, I believe there are some exams I'm going to write with the Nigerian Medical Council, NMC, and those monies that they're going to charge me are going directly to NMC. So Alpha Active, they are not responsible for that. Those are additional expenses that you have to factor in.
Okay. Thank you. So somebody wants to know how much the exam is going to cost. Are you able to give us that information now?
To be honest, I can send it out, because I think they said it changes last year and they were trying to help me get it, but they didn't get back to me until the close of work yesterday. But I know definitely they're going to get back to me by Monday. So I can actually email it out to everyone on this webinar.
Thank you. So the next question, for someone that already has B1 in German, does your program still provide guidance for FSP and KP, and will there be a reduction in the cost?
Okay, because SolidLink does not do this independently, we have to discuss with Alpha Active and see the level where you are going to fit in and how much that is going to cost you. But as I'm sitting here, I won't be able to answer that question. But that person can basically leave his name or their name, and then we can get them, we can refer to them probably on Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
I guess the person is saying they have B2.
Yes, B1. And there's another person with B2 as well. So there's also the question of appointments, that how easy it is. Mr. Dauda, I'll let you speak in a minute, please. So there's somebody who was asking about the issue of getting appointments, at the German embassy.
Yes. To be honest, the appointment is not easy, but one of the assurances they gave me is that because the German government need doctors, and they basically prioritize courses like this so that people can quickly get in and transit into the labor market, they will always give an exception. But that is the German consulate, what's it called, the awards. But I believe when it comes to that, we will always do our best to push for appointment, even if it means us going to the German embassy to give them the reason why the person needs to go, because this is not just an ordinary student that's going into Germany. They are all professionals, and they are getting to Germany to become of huge service to the German economy.
Thank you. So just another question. Somebody was asking about the correct email address and contact ID. So we apologize for that error. Can Deepa please put the correct details in the chat, please? Or maybe if if Kamsi is there or Mike, while I continue to read the question.
Do you mind if I grab a glass of water? 1 minute, please.
Okay, no problem. I'll just. Okay, so Mr. Dauda Joshua, you can ask your question once Dr. Ney comes back, please.
Question, please. I'm back.
Okay, is Mr. Dauda still there, please? Somebody was, okay, so if there's anybody else who wants to ask any question, please, you can go ahead and ask the question while I go through all the other question on the chat. Thank you.
Okay, good evening. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Good evening.
Oh, okay. Some persons have asked severally if this is the same part for dentists, and no reaction has been gotten from them.
Okay. It is slightly the same. Yeah, it's slightly the same part. It's the same part. It's still the same process for dentists. Anyway, I think the main difference is the 10 weeks. It's the dentists don't need to go through the 10 weeks. You understand? But to be very honest, it's basically the same process for medical doctors in Germany. The only difference, I think, they concentrate more on doctors because for German government, that's what they really need to drive. You understand? That doesn't mean as a dentist, you cannot still qualify for it. Trust me.
So that's a very interesting idea here. Somebody said if it's possible for the next session now to kind of invite a Nigerian doctor in Germany to the session. Yeah, we will look into that. We will speak to our partners and we'll see if we can do that. Yes. So there's a recorded version which we will share with everyone who has registered for the webinar. We really apologize for some people that can't join. We had a 100 capacity, which we think we got an overwhelming response. It is our very first time of running a webinar for doctors, and we didn't realize we will have this much people. So what we are going to do in the next one, we ask people to show their interest. Everyone that was registered for this, we ask them to show their interest, and then we will prioritize them while running the webinar, or get a bigger capacity. So the next question is it possible the hospital and city sponsor the schooling and visa process till work, and it can be taken out on contract base? I think it's something that can be worked through if passed correctly along. Yeah, so this is a very good idea. I don't think at the moment with our partners, we don't have the capacity to be able to do this for now, unfortunately. So somebody said 10 weeks or what? I don't know if they can add context to that question. I don't really understand the question. It is Oluwadansi, I believe, that has said 10 weeks or what?
Is when I asked this question about the dentist, and then he said they don't do the 10 weeks. That was when the question came up.
Okay, so is it cleared up now?
No.
Okay, so can you ask the question now again, please?
So I asked a question about dentist, is it the same part? So the answer was that it's basically the same part, but dentists don't do the 10 weeks. So the person just sent a message, 10 weeks of what?
Okay, so you said there's a 10 weeks that the dentists don't do. So what is that 10 weeks?
The 10 weeks to prepare for the specialist language exam. They don't.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So what happens with the dentist is after the initial 33 weeks, where they have the general language test. Then they go into internship from there. They are not going to go through the next 10 weeks of preparing for the specialist. If you look at the presentation, Bola, can you go back to the presentation and go to, I think it's just 1 minute. Let me see the number of the slide. If you go back to slide 7. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm on slide 7, sir. I am on slide 7 now.
Can everybody see it? So the doctor, the dentist won't do the 10
it's
weeks.
Moving. It's not. It's just moving around. The slides are moving. I think maybe it's your internet or something. It's no longer on 7, is it? No.
Okay. Hold on.
I am currently on 7, man.
Okay.
So if you look at that slide,
yeah,
the dentists don't need to do that 10 weeks. They just basically jump on to step 4, which is internship, and then move on to step 5 for specialist language exam. So that's the difference from my knowledge. That's the difference between the doctors and the dentists. Does that make sense, Mr. Dauda?
Okay. I'm just going to move on to the, yes, somebody was asking, can we have access to the slide? Yes, everyone who was registered for this call and will get an access to the slide. Definitely. We'll be sending that over as soon as we can. Yes, so this slide will be shared on WhatsApp. That's the question that somebody has asked. And another message. So I've read about the inviting in a Nigerian doctor. We will work on that. So somebody wants to know if we have an office in Nigeria. Yes, we have 3 offices in Nigeria. We have an office in Oniru, opposite Lekki Phase 1 in Lagos. We have an office in Ilorin, and we also have an office on Challenge in Ibadan. So just to put in the details of the contact, I'll put it here. You can find us at www.solidlinkco.com. I'll just put all the details here. And like all our offices are listed on the website, and all the phone numbers are also listed on the website. So I'm just putting in the website, and the phone number to reach is +353 851295955 on WhatsApp, and that's my number, and my own name again is Remi Kolawole. So I just put it in the chat there, all the information about us. We also have a WhatsApp group that we've created for the specific purpose of studying in Germany and studying medicine and dentistry and working in Germany. So we've invited everyone to that WhatsApp. We'll continue to share information on that WhatsApp group, and if you join that WhatsApp group as well, we'll be able to answer your questions, as well as we will be posting the link to the next webinar on that group. Okay, I'll just see if there's any more questions.
I think one question just popped up there. I can't read it, but you can read it out, please.
Okay.
From Joshua.
So somebody wants to know how many hours can you work as a language student? I think all students can work for 20 hours.
20 hours as a language student. When you get the partial licensure, you can work for 40 hours. And when you're working the 20 hours, it's not going to be in an hospital setting, please. I want you to know that when you get in, you start a language course, your work, you get whatever work that is available is what you do. as soon as you become a partially licensed doctor, you can actually get a job in any of the hospitals and work for 40 hours a week. And then when you become fully licensed, then you can opt for overtime, and then you can work more.
Yeah. So Dr. Alozi Faith asks, for a doctor who will be done with the housemanship in January, is it okay to apply in September this year? So that means they won't have 2 years experience. So
yes, post-study, post-registration experience. You have to have 2 years post NMC registration experience. So if you're just done with housemanship and in September, it's not up to 2 years, I'm afraid. Okay. But we can still check anyway. Policies changes every time. If we check and they think you are eligible to apply, then we can always come back to you. Can you note that person down, the person's contact down, please?
Okay. So somebody wants to ask this question. To be clear, is the 12,430 euro application fee different from the block account?
It is completely different. There are two separate things. The 12,430 is for Alpha Active delivering this program to you and helping you through the process. The other 12,000 block account is for your living expenses in Germany.
Okay. Thank you very much. Does anybody else have any other question? Okay, I think I have another question that just came in now, 3 actually. So we're asking about any sponsorship opportunities. So unfortunately at SolidLink, we don't have a sponsorship opportunity. We only support people with the process when they have their own funds. Okay, so please, I need further clarification. 1 second there now. Please, I need further clarification on the 12,430 euros and the block account. They are two. Okay, I think there are two different accounts. How do they differ? So I would liken the 12,430 euros as like your school fees and that you pay to the school and to be able to practice. And then the block account is the money that belongs to you, and it always belongs to you. But the German government wants you to be sure that you have money to spend when you are in their country, and they require you to pay that money to a specific account. And when you get into the country, you will get the money back. I think they pay it to you every month until the end of your at the end of your study. Sorry. So there's another important question here about pathway for going with family. Dr. Nee, can you expatiate on that, please?
While you are doing the German course, the 33 weeks course, you can't bring in your family. But immediately after that, as soon as you're able to get the temporary license or the partial license, you can actually apply for your family to come and join you. But at the initial stage, no.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, please? At the moment, there is no further question here. All right, thank you.
What happens if the person fails to meet up with the A1 to B2 cutoff? For do they have like an extension of their visa to repeat the course, or they just repeat the exam? Yeah.
To be honest, I've never had a case where people meet up, because I think it's the responsibility of the school to make sure that you meet up. Okay, but from my experience of migration and being a migration enthusiast and expert for years now, there is always a scope for extension. Nobody's going to expel you out of the country because you failed. You know what I mean? So I don't think they will say, "Oh, you have failed. You can't try again." You understand? As far as they see the evidence that you want to try again. So for example, if anyone fails and they want to try again, you will re-register again. I think the only problem is it's going to cost you more money to re-register again. As you show them the evidence that you have just registered, you understand? They will never expel you out of the country. They give you the opportunity to practice. They want you to practice. To be very honest, they want doctors. They want people to come in and practice. They don't want you to fail, and they don't want you to go back to your country. So they will always encourage you to do it again. Anyway, you understand? The only difference is maybe if you now try 3 times, 4 times, and you can't meet up. But then, to be honest, there will always be other ways to convert that to something else, you know? Maybe you can go into a formal school then and things like that. But I don't think if you get into Germany and you cannot pass the language exam, you will be expelled out of the country. I don't think so. You may not be able to practice as a doctor, but there will always be other pathways that you can take.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nee. Any other questions, please?
Yes, there is. I hope you can hear me. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah.
All right. First of all, I just want to know, is there an application fee? Then secondly, the part of this blocked fee, at what point is it going to be made? Assuming the next batch is starting in September. So I don't know if you can just run down a timeline or a schedule from September, assuming is that the first, you said the first point is submitting some of those documents. Can you just like run it in form of timeline? Okay, the document is meant to be submitted in the first 2 weeks. Then, after that, this is when payment is required and this is the payment. And somehow, if you can also translate the payment in terms of the exchange rate and the value in Naira, so it's more relatable to us or to me, and it will aid the planning process on my own end. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, the September application is still open, and I think from my discussion with the school, it's opened actually until probably the middle of July because of the pressure for visa. So if you are going for September, it means we have to quickly start the process because they expect you to put in an application according to them, within 10 working days, they will let you know if you have the offer or not, which is basically 2 weeks. And then immediately you get the offer, they expect you to make the deposit to the school. Now, the tuition fees is 12,000. On your offer letter is going to carry your offer letter will carry the amount of money they expect you to pay, and they want you to pay that immediately. But when we progress to visa, which is going to be probably by the first, second week of August, for you to be able to go in the middle of September, they expect you to have set up the block account because it's a visa requirement. It's not college admission requirement, it's a visa requirement. So between now and September, to be very honest, it's a little bit tight. It's going to be a lot of pressure. I think January is still much more. But if we are going to work with September, I think we have to work back. We have to work back and look at probably give ourselves 6 weeks for visa, which is going to bring us back to probably early August, okay? And then give ourselves 2 weeks to prepare the document for visa and get the appointment and things like that, which is going to bring us to the mid of August, then bring us again back to 2 weeks for application. So that means whatever we are going to do, it is very important for us to put in an application by the end of this month, which is probably by the end of this month, if not possible, by the first week of this month, so that we will be able to try and meet the September. But if we want to remove that pressure from ourselves, I think we should go towards January. And basically, if we are working towards January, we put in the application as soon as we can now, and then we give ourselves a timeline that, okay, application takes 2 weeks. By the time it's the middle of July, the offer will come out, and then you can give yourself another 2 weeks to raise the money to pay to the school. And then we can now say, okay, we are going to apply for visa in September. And that is when we need the block account, because we only need the block account as evidence that you are ready to apply for visa, that you have enough money to spend when you're in Germany. And then in terms of the tuition fees in Naira, to be very honest, I don't know the the exact exchange rate because it fluctuates, but I think if you're looking at about 12,000 euro, you are looking at about 19.5 million thereabouts. Balawan is going to help me with that. That's going to be around 19.5 million, 19 million, 19.5 million thereabouts for the tuition fees. And luckily, I think the school can actually split the payment to 2 installments, half of it before you come in, half as soon as you come in. And then, but when you pay that half, the remaining half will have to be in your account while you still do the block account. So you are looking at roughly 20 million for the tuition fees and 20 million for the block accounts.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Is that clear enough? I'm not sure if I did justice to that question.
Yeah, I think I understand, but I asked also about application fee.
Okay, because we covered the application fee. Remy, can you go over our charges anyway? Because usually it's us that does the application fee and we cover the application fee through, because we charge a service charge. So Remy, would you like to go over that? Hello?
So I was talking away there. I didn't realize I was on mute. Apologies. So our process at SolidLink Consulting begins with a one-on-one consultation. So we encourage anyone who wants to work with us to book a one-on-one consultation. And the reason we do that is that we believe that our visa is not one cap fit all. People have different circumstances in their immigration background, their financial background, their education background. So at the one-on-one consultation, which costs 50,000 naira, we discuss this individual's personal needs, and we come up with an eligibility test just to confirm if the person is able to get a visa, if they can access a visa at that time. And if they can't access a visa at that time, we advise them on the steps that they need to take in order for them to qualify for a visa. So either way, whether the person is ready or not, it's always a win-win situation, because if the person is not ready, they know exactly what they need to do to be ready. And then if we proceed, if the person is ready and they choose to proceed, for us to help them with the application, we then ask for a service charge, which depends on the country. For example, for Germany, the service charge is 1 million naira, and we ask for the 60% upfront of that charge, and it's only when they've been admitted to the school and they've gotten their visa, that is when they pay the remaining 40%. And for everyone that we work with, we sign a contract at inception, and we also offer a money back guarantee. Just in the unlikely case of the person's visa being denied, we will give them the money back, excluding an administrative charge. Does anybody need any clarification regarding that, or that's clear enough? Okay, I think I have another message here. Somebody is asking if installmental payments is possible. Yes, you can pay twice, like Nei already said. There's another question here. Okay, installmental payment. Is there any limit to attempt of approbation? I think that has been answered as well. So what is the minimum amount required in the block account?
12,436 euro. 12,436 euro.
So is the residency program sports competitive for surgery specialty?
be honest, I'm not sure I'm in the right position to answer that because I have never practiced medicine in Germany. But from my experience, basically researching into IMGs and international medical graduates practicing abroad, I think surgery is always a very competitive field in terms of specialty. And that is why in so many cases, when you go to Canada, you go to the UK, you see our doctors, or even Australia, you see our doctors find it very easy to go into psychiatry because it's less competitive than surgery. But for me, every time I tell myself there's nothing that is undoable anyway. If you put your heart at it, no matter how well competitive it is or how much competition that is there, you can always do it.
So can sponsorship letter replace the block account? No.
That if you are on sponsorship, because this particular program is different from sponsor, or maybe I do not understand what that sponsorship means.
So for this particular program that we are advertising, can they use sponsorship instead of a block account?
That means that someone is sponsoring that person.
Yes.
Is that what it means? Well, it's not.
Well, okay, let's see if the person who the person can clarify. But what I understand from this question is that instead of putting the money in the account, somebody is writing a letter to say, I'm sponsoring this person.
No, you don't know. The person needs to help you buy the block account or put the money in the block account.
Yeah.
If it's a company, if it's good government, what government needs to do and what government has always been doing, if they send people to Germany, is to basically do the block account before the student gets to Germany.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's all the questions that I have so far. Is there any other question from anyone on the call, please? Okay, so I think that's all question answered there. So thanks everyone for joining us today. We appreciate your time. We do not take it for granted, and we apologize to anyone that is not able to join or that is not able to join on time due to capacity issue. We will be doing another webinar. This particular webinar, we'll take it again so that we can accommodate people who are not able to join, or if somebody else wants to come back again and listen again, we will be happy to do the webinar again.
Sorry.
We will
Excuse
also,
me, ma.
yes.
Can I just ask a question before you round up?
Please do, yeah, thank you.
Okay, on one of the slides where the heading is starting dates and prices, there was a place where they wrote price 12,430 euros in bracket accommodation and examination fees not included. Then below we have blocked account. So that's where I'm actually having issues. That price 12,430, what is it for? And then the blocked account, are they two separate things, or I don't really understand those two bullets on that slide.
Okay,
the price is on the price is a bullet on its own, and then the block account is another bullet below it. That's where my confusion is coming from.
Okay, I can explain that. So if we can go to the slide, that would be great. But I think look at the 12,430 as in quote the school fees that you pay to the school that is organizing this. That's what that is. So is the sorry. Yeah, so consider that the charges that
I'm on the slide. I'm on the slide.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the internet is affecting the slides because from my end, I can't see the slide. So maybe it's kind of catching up, but that's fine. We can always talk about it. So the charges for the 12,430, that is what the school who is putting together this program, that is what they are charging you for enrolling you in this program.
Okay.
Now, the block account is like proof of fund. And like if say for example, somebody is going to study in Germany, the German government expects you to have your own money that you will spend when you are studying after you have paid your school fees, which the other one is. So that is the block account. So you said it a few minutes ago that is 12,400. They expect you to have that money in your account.
So the blocked account and the price they're charging me is the same amount, 12,430. or both the
it's
like tuition, like
nearly
you
the
said,
same.
and then
It's
the
nearly
block?
the same thing.
Yeah. Maybe that's what's causing the confusion. Yeah.
So that's like 24, 8, 16 also.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what it comes to. Yeah.
Yeah.
However, the block account, it's your money. It's not, they will give it back to you. They're not keeping it. The government is not keeping it. It's just their way of making sure that people have money when they are studying, which some other country, we do a proof of fund. They just want to see it in your account. If they know it's in your account, they are happy with that. But Germany wants you to have it in their own bank account. So like now they are keeping it for you. They'll be giving it to you every month so that you're not stranded when they're in their country.
And that basically covers the accommodation, the exam fees that is not included in the tuition fees. When they give you that money every month, you can pay for your accommodation, you can pay for your feeding. And then when you need money to pay for the examination, you can take it out and pay. You understand?
That's quite understood. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So for everyone who has joined today, we will send the slides, and we also send the recording of the meeting to you. And if you've not already joined our WhatsApp group, please join our WhatsApp group for doctors. It's a great way even to meet other doctors and network among yourselves as doctors. All right. So on that note, I'll just wait if anybody else has any other question that they'd like to ask or any other question.
People that will have gone to study medicine again, because looking at all the people here, I feel like going back to study medicine.
It's never too late. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes. So thank you. So, I'm a final year dental student. I'll be finishing in a few months' time. So, but in medical and dental, what's it called, program, they are kind of a peculiarity. So I think the entire program was centered around medical doctors. Can we have more of a dental personnel to talk about it? Because we're talking about exclusion of 10 weeks, which comprises interacting with patient, history taking and stuff like that, which we also do as well. So how do we tend to gain that experience if it has been excluded for us? And then talking about hands-on, because dental is more of practical hands-on. So if you're considering other countries, you do benchmark, you do some other things to be sure that you can truly treat their patient because you're dental personnel. So I don't know if there is any provisions for that to be able to know the exact pathway for dentists.
To be honest with you, Mr. Okay, your name is gone anyway. Am I speaking with Gafar, right?
Yes.
Mr. Gafar, to be honest, from me talking to Alpha Active, that was what he told me, because I am not a medical doctor, I'm a book doctor. And that's what he told me about dentistry. But I can go back to them, get more information, and I can actually set up another webinar for dentists. You understand? So that there'll be clarifications, and then we can, like someone suggested, we can try and get a Nigerian or an African that has been there, that has been able to successfully transit into the system to explain how they went through it. You understand? So we will put this on board, and Remy, can you take notes so that we can set up a meeting with Alpha Active to give us more clarification on the dental process, on the dentist process. And then we can that webinar for someone. And you can do that for doctors as well. I get someone, it doesn't have to be a Nigerian, but it should be someone from Africa with similar medical practice experience and medical training experience that can help us in terms of explaining how they went through their own journey.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. I think I have another question here. Okay, can you please send us the WhatsApp invite link? Yes. I'm going to put the WhatsApp invite link in the chat right now before we go. Okay. Okay, so I'm just putting it in the chat now. The WhatsApp invite link is now on the chat, and you can join and network with other medical practitioners on that group. All right, so if we don't have any more questions, I'd like to thank everyone once again for joining. Thank you for your patience.
Yes, sir.
So we look forward to connecting with you on WhatsApp in the group, and also organizing other webinars in the future. Thank you so much for your time, and do have a lovely evening and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Bring it. You will scatter it now. Everybody takes charity bumper.